Ever picked up a miracle cream just because everyone in your group chat swore it was the real deal? No shame. We've all fallen for the hype at some point. Drugstore shelves are stacked with spot erasers, glow boosters, and all those fancy promises. But honestly, some of these jars should go straight in the trash, not anywhere near your face. Today I'm breaking down 5 skincare creams you need to avoid, and giving you 3 swaps that are actually worth your money. If you're tired of wasting cash on harsh formulas and empty results, don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell for honest reviews and real skincare advice that actually works. Now let's dive in and see what anti-aging creams you need to clear off your shelf. Number 5. Mercury Bleach Creams. A little jar on the bathroom sink hardly ever looks dangerous, but numbers can tell a story nobody expects. One case of imported freckle cream tested in a lab turned out to have 13,276 milligrams of mercury per kilogram. That's over 10,000 times more than any safe cosmetic limit allows. People see the word whitening or spot remover on the front, and they trust the jar without a second thought. It sits there for months getting dabbed on day after day. No warning on the label, just pretty packaging. A woman used one of these creams for 9 months, and by the time she got checked, her urine mercury was 56.22 micrograms per liter. Anything above 10 is already a red flag. So that number isn't just a little high, it's completely off the charts. The strangest part is how the trouble doesn't start on the outside. Chronic use leads to nephrotic syndromes, conditions like minimal change disease and membranous nephropathy that make the body leak protein and swell up. The cream feels like a simple fix, but after a while, the real problems show up somewhere nobody can see. It's not only about kidney risk either. Some people end up with blue-gray patches, shaking hands, trouble sleeping, and mood swings. Systemic intoxication from a regular store product. What catches families by surprise is that you don't even have to use the cream yourself to be exposed. Mercury can rub off onto towels, pillowcases, and even shared beds, raising levels for everyone in the house. You think only one person's at risk, but then the whole family's mercury readings climb. The scariest thing is how quiet it all is. A strong fade cream sold as beauty magic, leaving marks and harm that nobody ever expected. Number 4. Strong HQ Fade Creams. It sounds harmless to erase a dark spot, but sometimes the real trouble starts only after things fade. Hydroquinone can help under a doctor's plan. Most people know that when it's used the right way, like in a 4% prescription for melasma, the improvement is clear. The story changes when high-dose creams are used for a long time without any medical advice. One big review of exogenous ochronosis, a blue-black staining of the skin, found most people had been using hydroquinone creams for a median of 5 years before things got bad. These changes don't just show up after a month. They build up over time. Most cases involved 4% or even 10% hydroquinone, and only a few developed ochronosis in under 3 months. Layering multiple creams or higher doses is even riskier, and some countries have banned cosmetic hydroquinone entirely. Even over-the-counter 2% creams can bring problems if used for years, and labels rarely warn that blue-black marks can appear later. The habit keeps going, and fixing those dark patches becomes harder than the original spot. The next cream feels expensive and safe, but it hides a steady kind of trouble behind every luxury label. Recognize any of these bottles or have them on your shelf right now? Tell us in the comments what your experience is with these products. And keep listening to see if we listed an anti-aging cream you use. Also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you never miss out on the worst and best in today's beauty world. Now let's get back to it. Number 3. Paraben Luxe Creams. A heavy glass jar, cool metal lid, and a fragrance that feels rich. This is what most people imagine when they think about high-end skincare. Prestige creams and anti-aging jars need to last a long time on store shelves, so they rely on preservatives. Parabens like methyl, ethyl, propyl, and butylparaben are some of the most common, and in lab tests they show a weak ability to act like estrogen. Scientists have started calling them endocrine disruptors, which means they can interfere with hormones in ways nobody can see or feel right away. Then there's a different set of preservatives, the formaldehyde-releasing kind, like DMDM-hydantoin, diazolidinylurea, and quaternium-15, which come with risks of their own. Skin can look perfectly fine at first, and nobody feels a thing. But then, allergic contact dermatitis pops up in some users, even after weeks or months. Medical reviews note that formaldehyde allergies show up in 2 to 9% of patients who get patch tested. That's not rare at all. In a California study, more than half of 70 Black and Latino women used at least one daily product with these formaldehyde-releasing preservatives. DMDM-hydantoin was found in almost half the skincare products they tested, and even more of the hair products. The EU banned formaldehyde in cosmetics in 2009, but some US jars still hide it under different names. The problem is slow and hard to catch. Low-level irritation starts to chip away at the skin barrier, making redness, rashes, and pigment problems much more likely. Dermatologists describe these chemicals as stealth exposure because people apply them daily and don't notice until the skin barrier is already breaking down. The fanciest jar on the counter can turn out to be the one quietly causing trouble for months to come. When a product finally promises a real glow, the fastest effect is usually hiding something much more powerful and sometimes dangerous. Number 2. Steroid glow creams. Some products offer perfect skin in 3 days, and that's enough to make anyone look twice. Certain triple-action or instant glow creams mix a strong topical steroid with hydroquinone and a retinoid. The effect is quick and the change in the mirror is obvious, but after weeks or months, the cost comes due. A hospital in India counted 433 patients who showed up with steroid-damaged facial skin from creams like these used daily for months at a time. It isn't just rare cases either. Another clinic tracked 200 patients with facial skin damage. Over 70% had been using high-potency steroids, often without any idea they were buying more than a cosmetic cream. That explains why so many people end up stuck. Nobody realizes they're applying medicine to their face until the symptoms start. The list of side effects is long. New acne for over a third of users, thin skin, visible blood vessels, red patches, stretch marks, and dark marks that don't match the rest of the skin. One expert group even called this a worldwide epidemic in places like South Asia. Dermatologists report a 20 to 30% rise in tough infections from steroid creams bought online. Over 80% try them without advice, and when they stop, painful flare-ups can last months. Number 1. No SPF anti-aging creams. The biggest claim on the box might be age rewind or wrinkle repair, but flip it over and look for SPF. Many times it just isn't there. The math on photoaging is brutal. UV rays cause around 80% of all visible facial aging, including lines, sagging, and spots. Some studies even push that number higher, especially for people who get a lot of sun over a lifetime. The science is so clear that clinics in sun-heavy countries like Australia see it on every face. Between 40 and 50% of adults over 40 develop precancerous sunspots called actinic keratosis. The same rough patches show up in the US and Europe too, reaching up to 38%. Even a 2% bump in visible sun damage can make someone's face look 3 years older to trained eyes. For all the money spent on miracle jars and exotic plant extracts, the biggest driver of aging is still the same old sun. Creams can smooth and plump the surface, but if they skip UV protection, the main enemy keeps working right beneath the surface. Clinics keep seeing soft skin from creams, but UV lines and damage still show up. Without SPF, even expensive creams fall short, and every unprotected morning adds more damage. The plainest tube on the shelf can sometimes be the one with the most real proof behind it. You'd never guess the plainest tube is the real game changer. Want to see what creams are actually safe and why almost nobody talks about it? This next pick flips the whole story. Number 3. SPF 30 Day Cream. A plain, boring white tube of sunscreen can be the last thing anyone reaches for. But the facts behind it are stronger than anything else on the shelf. In a well-known study, 93 adults under 55 were split into 2 groups. One used sunscreen every single day, the other only when they felt like it. After 4.5 years, the daily sunscreen group showed no new visible photoaging at all, while the other group visibly aged. That's not a tiny change, it's a difference you can see. Another clinical trial followed 32 people for a year. They applied a broad-spectrum SPF 30 on their faces every day, and by week 12, dermatologists were already noticing better skin. By week 52, clarity, texture, and uneven pigment had improved by 40% to 52%, and every single participant showed some progress. These aren't maybe results. Reviews keep confirming that a plain SPF 30 or higher, applied every morning in the right amount, can prevent future damage, and even reverse some existing problems at the same time. One simple step can slow aging and lower cancer risk. Even if the tube looks boring, skip sunscreen in your morning routine and you miss the most proven way to keep skin healthier. Nighttime is quieter, but that's when real repair finally has room to happen. Number 2. Ceramide Night Cream. The skin's outer layer works like a brick wall. Each cell is a brick, but the mortar holding everything together is made of ceramides, about 30 to 40% of all the fats in that layer. When people get older, use harsh creams, or deal with eczema, those ceramides start to disappear. Water leaks out, the skin dries up, and irritation becomes a daily hassle. A lot of people feel tightness and redness no matter how many products they try. Night creams with ceramides, cholesterol, and fatty acids are designed to rebuild that mortar. They fill the gaps over time, slowly restoring the skin's natural barrier, so water stays in and irritants stay out. The change isn't dramatic in a week, but after a while the skin feels less sensitive, smoother, and less likely to flare up. Adding niacinamide, which is vitamin B3, really boosts results. In a study with 50 women, 5% niacinamide cream faded fine lines, improved texture, and reduced redness in just 12 weeks. It also helps your skin retain moisture and builds up its natural barrier for months. Once the barrier is stable, everything else in the routine works better, and the skin finally gets a chance to recover after a long day. Plant-based ingredients have their own way of supporting the skin, and their story starts in places nobody expects. Number 1. Plant antioxidant creams. Read the back of a cream and you'll see names like vitamin C, EGCG from green tea, or resveratrol from grape skins. Each of these started out in fruit and leaves, and the science behind them is real. Vitamin C is the best studied. It can actually stimulate collagen and fight off the sun's free radicals. In one double-blind study, a 10% ascorbic acid cream improved fine lines and roughness after 12 to 24 weeks compared to a simple base. Green tea is loaded with EGCG, a catechin that's a powerful antioxidant and anti-inflammatory. Applying it to skin can help protect collagen and calm redness after sun exposure. Some creams combine EGCG with sunscreen for even stronger defense, especially for people who burn easily. The best results come from layering these defenses instead of depending on just one ingredient. Resveratrol is a surprise hero. Clinical work shows it can boost skin density and elasticity by 10 to 19% in only 8 to 12 weeks. One recent trial found that people using both oral and topical resveratrol saw the biggest drop in wrinkle scores. Over 120 participants took part. It matters because some ingredients really do work best together, not alone. Each of these still depends on daily SPF and a healthy barrier. Their results show up in slow, steady improvements. Not dramatic overnight glow, but a stronger, calmer, better protected face. Once all the dangerous jars are gone, smart choices start to matter most. One detail links every real swap together, tying the whole plan into one routine that works. If even one story made you rethink your own routine, drop your wildest skincare surprise in the comments. There's so much more hiding behind those jars. When you're ready for more, hit the next video and keep digging. Thanks for watching.